You want to lick the condensation off my cup? Come here. Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for coming back. So I'm a little bit of a liar today. We're doing a Pups in Pajamas. I have one pup, the other one, I don't know what she's doing. You probably hear her sniffing around like a pig, but I don't have on pajamas because I have to go out later because I have to go buy some stuff. So I don't have pajamas, but I do have one pup. Hopefully she doesn't leave. The other one is doing fuck all. So we're talking about imposter syndrome today. The reason I want to talk about imposter syndrome is because I think it's becoming increasingly relevant for people in my/our age bracket. But also because I think sometimes people have the misconception that like therapists don't ever struggle with mental health stuff. And imposter syndrome is something that I like deal with in my personal life. So imposter syndrome, to sort of start off, like what is it? I actually Googled like a definition of this. So it's basically feeling inadequate or feeling like not fully qualified despite evidence to the contrary. So for example, my like particular brand of imposter syndrome is feeling, I guess, like not qualified as a therapist despite the fact that like I have 2 degrees. Imposter syndrome can take different forms. For some people it feels like they just lucked out and that's the reason that they're successful. For some people they feel like, you know, if they've had a certain amount of success in their life, it creates this pressure that you're then not allowed to fail, or other people will find out that you're not qualified for your job, basically. I mean, and this is really hard. I mean, speaking from my own personal life, this is a difficult thing to sort of deal with in everyday life. But I think it's also really difficult because not a lot of people talk about it. And sometimes just being visible and being honest about what we're struggling with can be really helpful for ourselves and for other people. A lot of times for people, it's really difficult or really uncomfortable to be open and honest about the fact that we're struggling with things. But it, again, can be really healing. And so I wanted to encourage you guys to be open and honest with the people that you trust. You know, like people that are safe. Don't like be vulnerable with the, you know, Starbucks barista. Like that's weird. But, you know, the people in your life that are safe and that you're comfortable and close with, it's okay to talk about, you know, when we're struggling or if we're having a particularly difficult time, because it gives other people permission to do the same thing. And if you don't know who Brene Brown is, I've talked about her a couple of times on this channel, but she has a Netflix special that I would really encourage you guys to watch. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But her Netflix special kind of talks about the like power in embracing failure. And I think, you know, for a lot of people, imposter syndrome, especially when it's centered around that fear of failure, that's where that fear and that anxiety gets its power from. Failure is seen as this really severe type of incompetence. And so that is really scary to feel like we're never allowed to fail, because failure is an inevitable part of life. And so to feel like we're not allowed to fail then puts us in this weird spot where we either have to behave in a way where we never move outside of our comfort zone, we never try, we never do stuff that scares us because we're afraid of failing, or we fail and then we feel like shit because we think nobody else fails. That's really uncomfortable. It's a hard place to be in. But there is freedom in, again, being open and honest about the fact that like I'm struggling or I'm having a really bad day and, you know, I've just been feeling really underqualified or not qualified for my job and like, God, that sucks. When we hide things and when we feel like it's a secret and when we don't disclose that information to other people, it creates this buildup and this feeling of shame, because again, it feels like we're the only person who's struggling with that. When we share that stuff with other people, it has this really cool sort of dual effect of setting us free from feeling like we're struggling alone, but it also creates this really cool connection with other people. And again, I guess this whole fucking video is just a promo for Brene Brown. But she has a TED Talk about the power of vulnerability and how vulnerability is the thing that fuels connection. When you're able to be vulnerable with someone about how you're having a really fucking hard time, or you're having just a, shitty year, or or a couple of weeks, or you're feeling particularly underqualified for your job, or imposter syndrome is really hitting hard today. When we're able to share that stuff openly and honestly, it again just creates this special connection with other people. So I wanted to talk about that, and hopefully sort of release you guys from the expectation of not talking about this stuff, because it truly is something that everybody struggles with. And that's kind of the cool thing about it. This is something I tell my clients all the time, that struggling and being uncomfortable and failure are an inevitable part of the human experience. And it's sort of beautiful. There's humanity in that. And especially when we share that with other people and we feel connected through the fact that we all fuck stuff up sometimes. We all fail at things. We all are kind of assholes sometimes, and that's okay. So I hope this was helpful. And share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. What is the other thing that I say? Share the video and help the channel grow and help each other grow. And I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Why are you licking the carpet? Don't wink at me. This isn't a game. What we're not going to do is bite each other. That's what we're not going to do. Hey, Miss Piggy. Oh, no. You take your paws off of your sister. That's very rude. Don't you bite that pillow, young lady. No, what we're not going to do is fight with our sister today. What we're going to do is go lay down like a nice young lady. Very rude. Don't directly disobey me. Making me look bad. Okay, if that's any indication of how this video went,